My name is Xiuhtezcatl Roske-Martinez. I'm 16. I'm the youth director of an organization called Earth Guardians that has been working for more than 20 years to help inspire and activate young people to use their voices to make a difference in the world, to fight for change, to use their passions to really tackle some of the greatest issues of our time and create sustainable justice for every generation to come so we can inherit a healthy, habitable, just planet.
Mountains and mountains are close.
One of the big moments that I remember that led to my inspiration towards action was when I saw Leonardo DiCaprio's documentary, The 11th Hour, and that just inspired me to take action, inspired me to make a difference, because I saw that there was a really huge problem that my generation was going to be left with, and it was our responsibility to do something about it. Just the support from my family that I've always had has helped me understand just the power of community and how impactful it can be when people can come together to really try to make a difference. And it was just like a lot of support from my family, a lot of work that they had done, throughout the generations of my siblings and my parents and my grandparents, and just like all the work had been leading for me to kind of jump on board with this movement and these programs as well. So it was always a given to be involved. I think the only way to make change is to bring an intergenerational conversation to the front lines of this movement, because our generation has the energy, the creativity, the innovation, the entrepreneurship, and like all these fresh, bright ideas. But often when movements get caught up with that, they collapse quickly because they don't have the wisdom and the strength and the knowledge and the experience of our elders to help guide us. So I think, being on this journey with my grandfather and having been in the same movement, there's so much to remember about where I come from that gives context to this movement, gives context to our actions and to Earth Guardians because of everything that it has already been through. Like, this is not a new movement, it's been happening for a long time.
And a long time, how many?
Over 20 years. Earth Guardians was founded in 1992 in Maui, Hawaii. And my family, my grandfather's been on a journey of consciousness for the last 45 years or so. So it's been, it's all culminated, it's all coming together with the way that Spirit's making things happen today, Well, I definitely think that technology has its place, and it has an important role to play in all of this. But at the same time, it's overused and it's a distraction, and it's just another thing, another illusion that's pulling us away and disconnecting us from ourselves and from one another. So I don't know, I just think staying connected to the earth, staying connected to yourself, staying connected to your roots is really important. So being with my grandpa and hearing his stories and hearing where he came from and everything that he had to go through to find himself gives me so much hope, for how humans can change and how we can unconditionally love and have so much empathy for other people because of, we're all just humans, right? And we're all learning, we're all just going through the process of life and trying to, stay on our path without getting too distracted by all the illusions around us and all the distractions around us. And it's like, yeah, I'm proud to say that, I'm just fascinated by spending time with people I love and staying connected to my roots. I think it's the most important thing. I think me telling young people that there's one important thing to focus on, or the most important thing to focus on, is unfair, because I feel like so many times adults have tried to push things upon us and like, you guys should do this and this and this, and that shuts young people down. So I think what I've seen is that if you open up a space, if you allow for conversation, if you offer tools and resources and connections for young people to use, show them examples of other young people that are doing amazing things, then they will take it upon themselves to use their passion, their creativity, their wisdom, and the humanity that they have to really build solutions creatively to the greatest issues of our time. It's not about telling them what to do or how to do it. The Earth Guardians movement that's happened, it's not an organization that you have to join, it's a movement that you can be a part of. And it's intergenerational, it's diverse, and it's about every young individual on the planet, every old individual on the planet, all individuals on the planet coming together around the idea of creating a better world for the next generations. It's not about just climate change or the environment. It's not an environmental organization. It's about empowering young voices to take the lead in a movement to connect with every other generation to build a healthier planet for future generations to come. And this is not my vision. You know, I'm channeling this vision from Creator, and it's been passed on to me by my elders and my ancestors. And it's, you know, we're still chasing that dream down the road, and we're getting close. We're getting real close, and things are beginning to change everywhere. I was working with an organization called Our Children's Trust, which is supporting young people in getting their voices in the legal system, because we can do a lot of frontlines activism and we can do a lot of things like that, but at the same time, you know, getting involved in influencing leadership and influencing our legal system has a lot of power and a lot of potential. So I've been involved in actually state and federal lawsuits for since 2011. 2012 is when I got first involved, I think, with the federal lawsuits. Just recently, I think, you know, 2015, late 2015, we filed this federal lawsuit, myself and 20 other youth plaintiffs, all equally demanding that our legal system, that our courts hold the federal government accountable for violating our inalienable constitutional right to life, liberty, and property, which are directly being violated by our climate crisis and directly being violated by our government's inaction on climate change. Their slowness of action and their action to actually support the fossil fuel industry, which is creating the crisis that we see in front of us to a large extent. So that is, the ask is to put global climate or national climate recovery plans into place. This lawsuit was, the federal government and the fossil fuel industry said that we don't have a right to file this lawsuit. We don't have the right to use our voices in the court, in the legal system, in the justice system. And they filed a motion to dismiss our lawsuit. And in April, Judge Coffin ruled in our favor. The judge that heard the hearing in the case of dismissal ruled in our favor, and said that on every ground that we filed on, this generation and these young people have the right to pursue this lawsuit. So now it's going to a secondary judge to be reviewed, going back to court. We're going to hear oral arguments again. Another amazing opportunity for the world to hear this message that we have, you know, because the fact that we even have to be in court doing this is unbelievable. Our leaders have failed us in a lot of ways, you know.
What would the outcome be if you won?
The outcome will be enforced 8% annual CO2 reduction and massive reforestation to sequester carbon dioxide back into the soil and into our trees, into our forests. All of our science is being done by former climate scientists, current climate scientist, former NASA scientist, James Hansen. And so it's, you know, the leading science on climate as far as what we need to do to get our planet back to 350 parts per million. And, you know, if we saw that one of the biggest polluting countries in the world is reducing their CO2 every single year to get down to a safe level, like, what kind of statement would that make to the rest of the world? You know, and we have to make it profitable. That's why we're here at this conference today, because businesses need to come together to understand this is the greatest opportunity of their lifetime to really pursue the next industrial revolution. You know, this is a revolution in consciousness. It's a revolution in industry and business. It's evolving, you know, and crisis as an instigator is the driver of evolution, as my grandpa says. And it's understanding how all these pieces fit together. You know, we need young people in the courts, we need young people in the streets, we need businesses doing business right, because it's profitable. And once people begin to see that sustainability sells and there's something to be gained from that, like, people will jump on board. And it's coming kind of slow, but we'll get there, you know. I draw my strength from being outside, being in nature, being in the natural world, and reminding myself what I'm fighting for, what I'm fighting to protect. I draw my strength from being with the people that I love the most, my closest and dearest friends and my family, and music, listening to music, playing music, writing music, connecting with other artists and musicians, collaborating, kind of like zoning out of this physical presence on earth and being able to channel through music. And it's, yeah. I think it's interesting when you talk about spirituality, and a lot of people always like jump to like, oh, religion, you know, right? And it's like, I think in a lot of ways, religion separates us, you know, and spirituality is just a way to bring people together. I was raised largely in my father's tradition, in the Mexica, the Aztec tradition. So So very connected with my indigenous roots, with my culture. I've been practicing ceremony since I was very young. So I think when I talk about spirit, it's about alignment of events and different things that are happening for a reason. And I think that each person chooses their own path, but at the same time, when paths connect, it's not a coincidence. The way that I see it, we are all spiritual beings. You know, we're more than just this body, and it's, I think once we are able to kind of understand that and talk about that and bring spirit into politics and bring spirit into economics and like understand the importance of putting spirit in consciousness and awareness first before we go, and you know, because like we live in a monetary system where everything is money first, right? But imagine, you know, if we put care first, like among people or among us and the planet, like those are different things. Like I feel like I have a spiritual connection with the earth, so I think a lot of it is just in reference to the vibration of life, you know, and it's not directly towards any one religion or anything. It's just an understanding that there's a greater presence that surrounds this planet, that surrounds our realities than a lot of us often understand. A real leader is someone that is able to defy barriers, defy labels, and be courageous in a way that they don't let their past define them, and in a way that they take every time that they have struggled as a step forward. A real leader is somebody that fights for something more noble than just themselves. A real leader ultimately is fighting for something that has to do with the vision for the world we want to leave to the next generation.